All right, good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps here with John. We're gonna get started as we always do with our YOLO session. I've changed the rack a little bit here just because, believe it or not, I'm out of yellow chips. I actually only bought 25 yellow chips when I did the redo of the table here, and I used them all up. We won so much money, I used them all up. So I swapped them out. And what I'm doing is I'm using my red chips now to be $5,000 chips. So basically a red chip in this segment is gonna be $5 grand. And what I've got here in the front of my rack then is the initial that we started out with, our $20,000 that we started out with. Here is what I'm gonna play with today. So we're up a little over 50K, as you can see from the chart there. I think we're at 50, well, I guess I didn't add the numbers in yesterday. We're actually at $57,000 total. I gotta update the chart. Which means I've got about $37,000 to play with over here. So what I'm gonna do with that is this. We're gonna go to table max with everything that we can. So we'll have our initial bankroll saved. I'm gonna have $5,075 kind of in quote unquote extra profit over here. And these are gonna be $5,000 per spot, 6,000 on the 6 and 8. So we're gonna go table max, here we go, one roll and see if we can't make this one happen. If we start making more money in here at table max, what I will do is what I can do at my local casino, and I'll start double parking because I want to get to 100K as fast as I can. You know, you're racing time with a thing like this. Big red's coming at some point here. So as we start winning in here, we'll start booking out and getting double parked. I'll do put bets with max odds up in here to start maximizing our potential wins on these numbers. So with that said, here we go. We've got $32,000 across, which is insane to say out loud. And here we go. Dice are gonna fly. Let's see if we can't get our one hit today and keep this train a moving. What do we get here? We got a hard 10, a 5-5. I'll move the dice in the middle there. 5-5, hard 10. So if you're the kind of person who plays the hard ways along with, double score for you there. So again, we're a Vigless casino here, so $5,000 pays $10,000. That's a really solid win. Again, so we're gonna go and do this. We're gonna put our base bets back into the rack here. That's tomorrow's play. I've got 10,000 more in profit, which means my profit, besides my 20K that I started with, and the $32,000 that I'm betting, I've got another $15,075 over here. So we're up. Boy, we're up pretty good. We're up 32,000 plus 15, so that feels like I don't know, about $40,000 in profit or so. That's not too bad for a one throw a day system here. And I hesitate to call it a system. It's just fun. It's just morning glory. A little bit of fun in the morning. So there it is. That's our YOLO for the week. And I do have, by the way, I did get the videos cut from the last couple of YOLO sessions. I will get those uploaded after today's show. They're already to go. Matter of fact, I've cut out the videos for the entire week. I took all 3 sessions that we did that were the place bet, pass line, all that stuff. I took all those sessions, cut videos down for them. They're gonna all be up on ProCraps website later on. You can always go to Casino Gaming TV and watch these things, the whole show. What I do on ProCraps is I take out this part, the me bullshitting with you in the morning part, and I take out the summary at the end and just give you kind of the 30 to 40 minutes in the middle where I'm rolling dice and make those ProCraps videos. So you can get like the succinct version if you want to, and that's where it's gonna be. It just takes me a minute to get there. I do have a day job, and it's hard to get things timing-wise. There we go. So looks like SJ's on his way to Vegas. Awesome. I may actually be going down and playing with Zach this weekend. It's possible. I'm going to go to Spirit Mountain and play some craps down there in Oregon with my son. We'll see, but good to see everybody here. I'm just going to go through and to see here. Ken is back. KKG is back in the house, it looks like. He's got to watch me once in a while for sure. Ken has had a trip. I can't wait to hear the full report, but it sounds by all accounts that it went good, except for him missing his flight, which is kind of funny. So sorry about that, Ken, that you missed your flight, but I can't wait to hear the good trip report. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about this morning? Let's see, anything else? Oh, Journey Life is here. Good morning. G-Dub is here. Good morning to you. And of course, Dr. S And Midmo Yo is here, and my friend Chris, Dice DJ, and everybody, all the regulars are with us. Jeff first in the house today. I have an announcement actually to make for Jeff. Let me go switch over to the other screen here. Let's see, that is going to be here. Where's my freaking? Oh, there it is. So Jeff asked me to talk about this with you this morning. Crafts Chat, which is every 2 weeks. As you know, it's one of the things we look forward to the most. I think besides my show, of course, we look forward to Jeff's Crafts Chat. Jeff and Dylan. The problem with Crafts Chat, and they've both been kind of, it's funny, it's a blessing and a curse. It's such a great show. We have such great fun doing it that it goes 2.5, 3 hours. It's like, Jeff always likes to say, he's very humble, I hate that, hope that it goes an hour. Hope we have enough content for an hour. Well, typically it goes 3 friggin' hours, right? It makes everybody tired, and we love it. We love it. But I think and Jeff thinks that it's just too long, right? So they're going to try and suss it down to an hour. So their ask from everybody is this. Number one, yes, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you want it to be an hour, a good hour? To do that, that means not every guest answers every question, which is probably a good thing. You don't need to hear all of us all the time. And it also would like to have a finite point or a finite topic to talk about for the week that we can give a smaller group of guests an hour and bring more folks in and just get through it in an hour. That, I think, is what Jeff and Dylan are looking for. They asked me to pronounce that today and see if you would just do it in chat right now. You're here watching. There are how many of us here? There are like 30 of us here. Just put in chat. Let Jeff and Dylan know, they're both here watching, what you think of that idea. A, shorter. B, more on topic. C, not every guest talks all the damn time. D, which is the last part of that, is Jeff's thinking about, I don't know how he's going to do it, some kind of an after show. I don't know what he wrote me this morning and said, we're thinking about that. So maybe the after show is like, you're all on Zoom, we're doing the show like we normally do. And then after Jeff ends the stream, we stay on Zoom and maybe we just bullshit for a while. I don't know how you want to work that, Jeff. Maybe you can talk about it in chat some. But some kind of an after show that's not part of the thing. And that way it's good because the remnant left behind on Casino Gaming TV, the video, is the 1 hour show. The BSing and the fun and the kibitzing back and forth, and even the arguing maybe, can be done in an after show format, but not necessarily recorded and kept online. I don't know what you're thinking there, Jeff. So you guys can talk about that in the chat. But again, it's one of the highlights to me of this community is that show. I mean, I love my show, of course, but that show's great. I love it. I wish it was every week. And I know it's hard to do that timing wise. So we'll see that. Also, there's another marathon in the works. I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't have details yet, but we did the 24-hour Crapsathon last November. The targeted charity was the National Council on Problem Gambling. Some of you I know are new to my show and didn't even know we did that. But I did a 24-hour live stream where I interviewed 20 people and played craps. It was crazy town. There's another one's in the works. I'm trying to put it together. It's kind of coming together fast, and I haven't said a thing about it because the person who asked me to see if we could do it, we're gonna keep it down. I just don't want to go out there with the whole story, but that will come to fore soon enough. But we're trying to find date. We're trying to find venue. I'm trying to get Casino Quest to see if we can't get with them and get their school opened up. Go to Vegas for 24 hours and get this thing done. So more to come on that. Just know that within the next month to 2 months, I'm not sure what the time frame is going to be. We're trying to put it together. Time is kind of the essence here, so we're going to get this thing going as fast as we can and get that thing rolling. So that's the other announcement I have. The other announcement I've got is this. Wait a second, I'll put it in the camera. This came in the mail yesterday from our friend Chris at Sideshow Gamble. I got his custom chips in the mail. So adding to my collection of YouTube content creator chips. I got my new chips for the table. I have actual chips that I made for the sole purpose of trading. I got, I think, 150 or 200 chips printed up when I go to Vegas for DiceCon. I'm going to pick them up at Spinetti's. And those of you who are coming to DiceCon, we can just hand chips out. I finally have my business card of chips like I'm supposed to do. So there's that. So thank you, Chris, for sending that. It's awesome. Great quality, of course. These are great. I love the fact that we do this as a community. I didn't even know it when I first joined, but I think this is so cool that we have that. So there's that. Ken, of course, coming back saying most radio shows are 4 hours. They are. Most talk shows that I like are 3 or 4 hours for sure. Freeform is good. I don't know. I think, Yeah, I don't know. I like the longer format because I could do this all day long, as you know. But I understand where Jeff and Donna want to go. They want to keep it. They want to keep the content tight, and I think that's. How do I say this right? The issue with going live, like I do this every day, the issue with going live is keeping your content succinct and tight and focused. Because when you have unlimited time, you tend to wander a little bit. And so we try not to do that. All right, so there we go. That's the announcements for today. Again, more to come on the Craps League and other things later on. Discord's growing, by the way. Thanks for the growth of Discord. I appreciate that. We're getting some good chatter going on in there and some good ideation on some of the new shows, so I appreciate that. All right, let's move on. Let's look at the next thing I want to talk about, which is today, the Friday Follies. The Friday Follies, here's a great quote. This is a quote from a guy over at the Color Up Discord named Green Day. He said this yesterday. I said, I'm totally stealing your quote. A good strategy with a sprinkling of crazy makes for a fun time. I thought that was, he wrote that in response to somebody else. And I'm like, that's going to be the new headline for my Friday shows, because I like Friday Follies. I've always loved Friday Follies from way back in baseball, This Week in Baseball. And Friday Follies are great. We're just gonna have fun on Fridays. I don't want Fridays to be any teaching. I just want to have a good old time and just kind of do some stuff. We do the YOLO anyway. That's a fun way to start the day. But I want to just roll and have some fun. So here we're gonna do. We're gonna do a Vince strategy. Now, yesterday I gave Vince a bunch of crap, as you'll recall, right? We had the whole thing with the incident that was in LFC, and that's. We've exchanged emails, and that's, I think we're okay there. I don't love all of Vince's strategy. You guys know that I think some of the stuff that he puts out there is a little bit hard to remember for me, hard for you even, hard for the dealers to execute, and they're he's a mad scientist. The one he's been doing recently, though, I do like a lot, which is this. He goes 66 inside, and then every single hit is 22 pressure, 22 pressure, 22 pressure. Well, it takes a long time. I mean, you watch the videos, it's an hour, it's 150 rolls, and we get to $100 from profit every so often. It's cool, it's fun. I decided to just up it a little bit just to see if you do and I'll do $5,000 bankroll today. Can you get to $500 reliably, starting higher and pressing 110? I just want to see if it works. I've done this quite a bit on my own, just to have, like I said, fun with it. It seems to work pretty well. I can get to $500 almost every day by playing with it this way. And again, it's a stress-free Friday. We're gonna have some fun with an interesting strategy. And again, I'm always looking for ways to reliably make $500, right? So let's see if we can't. This is, again, not a typical John safe play. This is a Vince mad scientist play. So we're gonna go in and mad scientist style and do 330 inside and run this thing all the way up. Now I'm going to show you the chart that I made for this. It's not the full chart. It's the chart that we're going to use today. And we're going to start, and here's how it works. You start with 330, which is 75 on the 5 and 9, 90 on the 6 and 8. It pays 105. You drop in a nickel to increase all the bets by 110. Now you're at the 440 level. After the 440 level, right, you're at $100 on the 5 and 9, and you're at 120 on the 6 and 8. They pay 140. Now you're going to rack 30 and go up by 110. And as you move up the ladder here, with every hit, you increase your bet size. And eventually you're up there where you've got, $300 per number, essentially, and you're bringing $400 and some back to your rack every single time. It actually works. Dr. S, I know you want to see this. I did this for you. I did this 100%. This is for you. You love this strategy, I know. It does work. Vince got beat the other day. He did go to 0 the other day doing it. So you can get a bad run of 7s. But we're just gonna do it. I think this is a fun one, and it actually, like I said, it's not hard to remember where you are. It's just 110 every single time. So let's just do it and see. Let's just see what happens. I know Waylon is always pushing for Vince to add the 4 and 10. You could do this inside press with the 4 and 10 parlay as a separate gambit. The more money you have on the table, the more the casinos love you. We know. So I'm going to do it just inside press, 330. To $500. Let's see if we can do it. Let's get out there and have a little bit of fun with it. So again, I've got the dice throwing camera down here at the bottom. You can see that. I changed the angle a little bit of it. I'm going to mess with the color some too at some point here to see if we can't make it more clear. And again, I don't expect you to be able to see that during the show on your phones. If you're watching on your phone or you're driving in your car, you will not be able to see the dice. If you're watching at home later, you will be able to see the dice. You can zoom in there and see that I'm not lying about what's coming. Sometimes one's gonna be down there, one's gonna be up here, right? You have one in the view and one on the layout. You have to kind of use your eyes to figure it out. I'm trying to throw soft and keep them back here in the landing zone if I can, just to make things visible. But that's not always 100% possible. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna pull the chart up to make sure I don't get messed up in my payments. And I am going to make one modification to what Vince did, which is this. I'm not gonna work every roll. So Vince worked this, he never was off. I'm gonna be off on the come out rolls. And the reason for that is because you're leveling up after every 7, or you're reinvesting after every 7, the come out roll has a special case to it, which is, and I think this is an important thing for all of us to remember. If you just wanna have your bets working, that's totally cool. The dice don't know that it's a come out roll. But the come out roll rules allow for the shooter to throw 6 7s in a row, and everybody's winning but you if you're out here live on the come out roll. So in a case like this where you're never off and you're always reinvesting, 2 or 3 7s in a row will wipe your bankroll out. I think that's where Vince got caught a couple times the other day. He had 2 times or 3 times where he had multiple come out 7s. That just it's an unnecessary drain. You do miss a number being hit sometimes, of course, when that happens. I'll take the risk of not winning in favor of not getting beat multiple consecutive times on that come out. So we're gonna skip the come out, but I will set my bets up ahead of time to get us ready. So it's gonna be 330 inside. I'm gonna need a whole bunch of green chips in here. We're gonna go with 75 on the 5 and 9. I'll spread that one out for you so you can see it. I'll try and keep the 5s spread out so you can see what's going on there. And the 6s and 8s, and this came up yesterday in our show too. The way that these work, I'm gonna cap them backwards. I'm moving the caps back towards me. Normally you cap them like this in the front, but I think because the camera angle comes in at a front angle like this, I'm gonna go ahead and cap them backwards so you can see what the caps are on the 6 and the 8. So we've got our 330 out here. That's gonna give us 50, 70 bucks and change to our rack. Again, I've got 3,000 in yellow chips and 2,000 in black chips. We're gonna watch the black chips. I'm gonna try and get myself to where between what I've got in the rack and what I've got out here, I have a $500 profit. Right now, if I look at my rack, I'm $400 in arrears. I need 20 black chips. So I'm gonna keep my eye on this. Once I get up to about here again, with like 500 bucks in play, that's when we know to pull. I'll refer to the chart frequently as we go, just to make sure that we know where our profit level is, and I'll kind of show you how I run this, or how I've been running it in practice. And I think Vince does the whole thing where he's got the loan shark, and he's paying himself, and he's buying the markers off and everything else. So I'm gonna do it in the rack, and I'll show you how I keep my rack tied in with this. Here we go. We're gonna coming out to a 10, which is great. The point is a 10. I love outside points, right? When I'm on the don't, which I play most of the time, I like the 4 and 10, obviously, right? Because it's harder to hit. When I'm playing the inside, I like them because it takes a long time to hit them. Many rolls sometimes, which means I have more time to win money in here. Let's try and avoid big red for a minute, and let's see if we can build this thing up as fast as we can. There's a 3-1-4, which is no help to us. And there's a 5-4-9. So what happens here is the 9 at 75 bucks. It pays, I'll pay it in green, $105. I will drop a nickel to make it look like 110. We're gonna do a little bit of inside pressure. So I'm gonna take these both up to 120. Come on. And take these both up to 100. I'll take the greens away and I'll put blacks in their place in all the spots just to keep the stack sizes down. So now we're at 440. So we go from 330 to 440. So it's just a 110 jump every single time. And we have taken no money back. In fact, we're worse off. We put $5 more in. Now, if we get some hits, we can start racking up. We can start making some more money in the rack. So there's going to be a 415. which is fantastic. So 100, just like in the real world, pays 140, right? So we're gonna get paid, and I'll do it in greens because we need the greens. So 100, 25, 140. We're gonna leave 110 out there to do our press. I'm gonna take the 30 bucks back into my rack, and we're gonna go ahead and press up here. And what this ends up being for us, whoops, is gonna be for the 6 and 8, it's gonna be 150 on the 6 and 8. I'm gonna turn these reds in for greens. I'll keep my dealers, we'll keep on cleaning us up. So we're at 125 and 150. Those are gonna pay 175 if we get another hit here. So we're gonna start, again, increasing ourselves and eventually collecting black chips and working the front of that rack as we go through. There's a hard 4, which doesn't matter. And again, I said it earlier, if you wanted to do something like this, a totally separate, buy the 4 and the 10 and have, play my 410 Bank Street along with this, that's fine, but there's just another, 70 bucks out there at risk that you don't need to be at risk when you're working this. So distracting yourself with other stuff going on can be fun, but it's also just adds volatility. Here we go. Let's get some more inside hits, shall we? There's a midnight, 12, midnight. And there's an 11. That's 2 horns in a row. Are you scared of the big red? C horn, hop the reds. We're worried? No, there's a 5. Awesome, 415. So again, 125. 125 is gonna pay what? It pays 175 in my book. So again, we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna pay with greens. So actually we can do, now I'll do 175. I'm gonna drop 10 out of my rack. And we're gonna rack the 75. And again, we're gonna press everything up by 110. We're just gonna go and drop greens all over the place. And reds here in the middle. So now we're at 150 on the 5 and 9, and we're at 180 on the 6 and 8. This is 660. These are gonna each pay 110. So as you go up, when you get the big amounts, people get worried about the big amount payments. It's 150 is 15 bucks. Just add a 0. So here we go. Can we rock and roll this thing? There's a 1, 2, 3, ace deuce, no help. There's midnight again. We were rolling a lot of horn numbers here. That was 2 midnights, an ace deuce, and at least 1 yo, maybe more. Here we go. Oh, I smacked my chips. 314 again. We are killing the outsides too. This is a pretty good roll for the outside player. Point of 10 we had, and at least 3 4s. So we're doing okay on the outside play. There's another hard 10. It's the point being hit. Points hit, pucks off. Wow, hard 10, hard 4, and 2 other 4s. We would have been crushing it if you play the outside with, but we're gonna bypass the come out roll, let the 7 breathe, give it a second, and see we go. On points is pull everybody back, pull it all back. I already hit goal. I don't think I hit goal yet. Let's see if I have. Let's actually take a pause here. Have I hit goal? Because what I've got out here right now, because I'm at the 150 level on the 5 and 9, right? That puts us at 660 on the board. And if I pull the 660 back, let's do that. I'll show it to you, but we're not quite there, right? I'm gonna leave all this here. If I pull these 4 blacks back, that puts my rack at where I started. This is my profit, right? It's 100, 250, 300, 400. Oh, it is, we are at 500 bucks. Good math. You're right, we're there. I thought I needed 1 more hit to get there. Let me color it up. Thank you, Mike, for pointing that out. I just was not paying attention, I guess. There's 200. There's 300. There's 4. It's not quite 500. We're at 400 in profit. We're not quite home yet. We need another 100 bucks. We're at 420. Which would have been perfect for yesterday, I suppose, right? We're at 420. We're not quite home, right? 400, yeah. So we got to go 1 more hit. We're not quite there, which is a little bit of a bummer. So let's go back and get ourselves back to 150, 150, 180, and back to our rack. So we're almost home. 1 more hit and we're there. Let's let the 7 breathe here on the come out roll. Hopefully there's another 10. Wow, look at these hard ways. All right, we're on. One hit. One hit. Can we get one hit? You know what we say, right? One hit is all I need. What I said to Vince the other day, he was doing the same thing here. He was doing the same strategy, and his goal was whatever it was, like $1,000, and he was like 960 or something, or 975, and I'm like, he's gonna burn $2,000 trying to make 25 bucks, and it's exactly what he did. I'm the same, right? We're at $420. We need another hit to get to our $500 goal. It's going to be a 7. Oh, if it would have been a 7, it would have been perfect, right? 516. So that pays 210. Now we're at goal. So 210. Now we color up, and I'm going to color up, and we'll do it like this. I want to show you how I'm going to play this. I like this strategy enough, and I've had enough success like this with it that I'm going to do something fun. There's our initial bankroll. Here is our profit. There's 4 greens. And I'm going to get the greens all colored up. 1, 2, 300. There's 400 in green. There's 400. And there's 25 in red. Oh, that's not a red. There's 25. So that's good. We did $630 in profit in just a few rolls, right? We got a good sequence. We saw 0 7s, right? Which is not normal. And you're in and you're out, right? So if we take this profit here and put that aside, I'll put it up here on the pass line. There's Monday. There's Monday's work. Let's go back to the casino on Tuesday and do the same thing. And this is kind of an interesting thing because with $5,000, I think you can reliably do what I just did and make 500. Not terribly difficult to do. I've been doing this since I saw Vince do this on Tuesday. I've been doing this probably 4 or 5 times a day. I've never not made $500 with 5,000 as a starting point. I've never not done it. And you're right, no law says you got to hit 500 for sure, right? Unless you're on a plan. Unless I'm on a plan to make that the thing. So here we go. John is shooting better. Yeah, I am shooting better. Know what I'm doing? And I want to address this because it's Friday and what the hell. The reason why I'm shooting better, I think, is this. Because the camera, the little tiny camera that's showing the dice up here in the front, that comment should go away here in a minute, I hope. There it goes. Because the camera, I have it dialed into this little tiny area. I'm trying really hard to keep the dice in this area so you can see them on camera, which means I got to throw them really softly. Right? As a good dice shooter will always throw the dice as soft as possible. The softer you throw them, the less spin there is, the less overspin there's going to be. They're going to stay and not go like Greg throws them all over the table, and they're going to stay off the 7. So that's a little theory. Anyway, excuse me. A plan I've got is to run an all-day session. I want to run a Saturday where I go from $100 to $100,000 in one filming. It's going to take me 7 hours to do it. And this strategy is and I'm going to switch strategies as I go because I have strategies that work at low level that are made for that. Come ladder comes to mind when I'm looking at $100 in chips. When I get up into the upper levels, when I get myself to 5,000, I'm going to play this way. Once I get to 5,000, I'll play this way to get to the next level, the $10,000 or $20,000 level. I'll switch my strategy again, altering bankroll as I go. But I think this is a reliable one. And if you're at 50K in your rack, 50K to win 5,000 over and over and over again can be done, right? So it's good. Let's do it again. Let's come out to a new number. I'll do another session. We'll see if I can win $1,000 here before I start work. There's my 7. There she is. There she is. I knew she was in there somewhere. 415. New point's going to be a 5, but we don't care about that point. I'd like to get some 7s as we play this thing out, so we can watch how this thing kind of rolls up. So there's our 400. We're going to go again 330, which is $75 per slot, and 3 on the 6 and 8. So there's going to be your 6 and 8 caps will be $90. 5 and 9 are at 70. Or I'm sorry, 75, and we get $70 in change. And here we go. So there's going to be that. We're out, and again, I'm going to manage the front here. We got to make sure that we're looking at what do we have, how close are we to 2,000. So really, it's the front stack here. I've got one chip in the front stack. We've done $400 under my starting point. And the minute I've got, you know, you can look at it where I've got 900 out here, that covers my 4 plus 5. That would be an interesting place to stop, as Mike pointed out last time. I think also a thing for us to look at in terms of when to stop is going to be just knowing how much you've got in the chart. So the chart helps you out, remember that. And again, I made it up to $500 per bet max on my chart because that's my casino's max, so I can do it. Here we go. Let's keep rolling here and see if we can avoid the 7 now that we talked out loud about it. There's a 4-2-6. That die did not hit the back wall. I would get yelled at once by my doers. $105 and 5 from my rack. We're gonna go ahead and press these up. And again, everything here becomes 100 on the bases. So we'll pull the greens back. And we'll come out with 120 and 100. Let's get another hit. There's a 5-1-6 again. Okay. So again, 120, like a $12 6 pays 140. So there's 140. We'll leave 110 out here. We're gonna pull back 30 bucks to the rack. And just like that, we've got about $100 back there on the what Vince would call the chump change side of my rack. That, technically speaking, is $100 to the front, if you think of it that way. Let's press these all up by a quarter. Okay, and now we're at 125 on the 5 and the 9, and we're at 150. I can make those look like greens on the 6 and the 8. All that'll pay 175 as we come through. Here we go. There's a 4-1-5. 4-1-5 pays 175, and again, I'll pay it all in green. There's 175. I'm going to rack the 75. I'm going to drop 10, net 65 there, and we're going to bump everything up again. One more level. We need one more hit. One more hit will get us home. Let's see if we can do it here. Hard 10. No such luck that time. Hard 10. There's an 8. That'll do it. So the 8, again, at the 180 level, we'll pay 210. And that should be enough to get us to goal. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna prove it first. We're gonna prove our goal. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our initial bankroll. And if I color all this other mess up, I'm gonna leave these out here though, and I'll show you why. Plus what's in my rack. And there's 160 in the rack. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 60 on the field, or on the felt rather. So we're at goal. There's $500 in change out here. We're at goal. I'm gonna put this back in the rack. I'm gonna reset the board with what I just had out here because I wanna run an experiment with you because we haven't, this might be my day. This might be the John is awesome day. We don't know. But let's go ahead and not take the payment. Let's not take the 210. Let's pretend that didn't happen. And I'm gonna go back out here again at 180 on the 6 and 8 and 150 on the 5 and 9. Let's pretend that was a 7. Let's pretend that we rolled a 7 here. And I want you to see the thing recover from itself. Let's a 7, this comes off and we would lose it all because I wanna get back to the screen and talk to you all for a little bit. But let's pretend that I'm a shitty roller and we lost that, okay? And what level were we at? We were at the level where we had 180. We were at 660 across, right? We're at 180 and 150. So I'm gonna put out 650, 60 bucks. We're gonna go dig into our rack and pretend like we rolled a 7, and I want you to see how this thing can recover when it gets ugly, because it will get ugly, and maybe I'm gonna force it to be ugly and kind of turn the worm here. Before I do that, though, I'm gonna put this up, 500, our 560 profit that we just made in that last shooter. I'm gonna put it in the front as well, just to log that we did. Let's go and go right back out here again at that same level that we were just at, okay? Let's go here, let me get some greens. There's 50. Right back out from the rack, replenish the field with what we lost. So now we're actually down if you look at my rack, I'm down a whole $1,000, right? Now I got to recover 2 full stacks of blacks before we can feel like we're comfortable here. Now we're gonna have to fight. Let's see this thing fight from behind. I'm gonna force it to be behind. We're gonna fight from behind. Let's get a new point. And we'll start it over again from underneath the covers and see if we can't get out of this thing. There's a 10, a 6-4, 10 for the new point. Now we're playing. 1, 2, 3, ace deuce. There's a 5, 1, 6. Okay, so the 5, 1, 6, we'll pay 210. There's $210. Oh, I forgot the black. There's a black 1, 210. I'll put a black chip right back in the front. So we're gonna start now. If we can stay here, we're collecting black every single time, which is good. It'll show us how far we need to get to. And again, we'll press up by 110 every time. That brings my 6 and 8 to $280. I'm sorry, brings it to 210. Those are black chips now. So we get a 210 on the 6 and 8. And we're at 175 on the 5 and 9. So that press brings us up a level, okay? So with those being at 210, okay, their payments are those are gonna be 245 coming through, okay? So now we're gonna, again, force it up, but we should start seeing, again, some black chips. If we can get hits in here, we'll see black chips. There's an 8. That pays 245. And again, I'll pay it 100, 200, and $45. And what we'll do, we'll leave 110 out there, press me up 110. I'm gonna rack a black, and I'm gonna put the rest in the back. And in fact, if I take these greens, see them as a black chip, the front of my rack now has 3 chips back from one of the $500 that I had lost earlier. What I'm gonna have out here, let's put the money out here and I'll show you where we are on the field. This will make my 6 and 8. Both look like 240. My 5 and 9 will both look like 200, both of which would pay I'm losing my chip stack, both of which would pay 280. Now, in my rack, I've got $1,300 in the front. This is gonna have to grow to 2,500, which means I am 200, 500 behind. So I'm $700 behind plus my goal. What I've got on the felt right now is 880. So I'm not quite there yet. I have enough on the felt to get myself whole, not enough on the felt to earn the profit yet. So we're gonna go ahead and take this next couple of hits and we'll be damn close to it. Let's get a couple of hits here. Hopefully, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm spreading that out so just so you can see there's 2. I'm trying to get the 5 to be like your window into what's up. All right, there's a 426, a 426. So again, here at the 240 level, that pays $280. So we're gonna go, again, 100, 200 in green, I'll pay it that way, and $80, $280. I could actually pay this in black, because you'll check this out. If I pay that in black, there's 280. I'll rack the 2 blacks. I'll take the $80 plus 10, and I can go one more level with my own green chip. Okay, are we there yet? Let's find out. I'm gonna stack it up first, and we're gonna take a look. We're at 225 on the 5 and 9. We are at 270 on the 6 and the 8. Okay, at that level, we're at 990 on the field, 990 out there on the felt, almost $1,000. Okay, in my rack, I'm $500 below goal, which means I am at goal. If I take this down, I'll have my $500 recovered plus $490 in profit, almost 500, okay? Almost 500. Now here's the question, Vince. What I could do, bring this back to base and restart it. That's totally fine to do. I can bring it all back and be done. Or we can take one more hit. We can be degenerates and go, well, I'm $10 below my goal. I'm not at 500. Should I go for the 500 and score or walk away at 490? Well, John walks away at 490, right? You know me. I'm definitely, yes, 270 on the 6. That's right. Whoever's asking that, Journey for Life. Yep. We're at 270. So I'm gonna go for it here because it's Friday Follies, right? In a casino, if I'm at 490 with a $500 goal, I'm getting the hell out, right? $10 I don't care about, right? But because it's the morning show, let's go ahead and get one more roll in there. And of course we roll a freaking horn number, right? 6-5, yo. Can I get an inside number, please, and make my point? Yay, 415, look at that. That's beauteous, right? So again, 150 on that 5. I think, am I at the right level? Yeah, that should be, hold on, my 5 and 9 are at the wrong side. They should be at 2 1/4. Did I not bring those up? 270 here. Oh, yeah, I am 2 1/4. I'm sorry, I had it spread out wrong in my head or in my visual there. So 2 1/4 on the 5 and 9 pays 315, right? This is fantastic, right? $315. And guess what, folks? We're done again. Let's go ahead and pull this down. Matter of fact, here is the $500 that goes in the front. That's our starting bankroll. Everything else here will come down and we're gonna get colored up. There's $50 in reds. We'll take all those greens. There's 200 in green. And that's 2, 4, 6, 800 in profit. 805. So in 3 sessions, we're up. We're up $1,500 in 3 sessions. And again, I'm rolling like Jeff rolled today. This is a George from CY/Jeff McMahon kind of a roll today. I'm not hitting a lot of 7s. Matter of fact, I forced the only 7 that we had to take a loss. So not a great example of the strategy because I'm rolling good and this is what's gonna happen on a great roll. But even forcing us to go down by $600, we still battled back. And because you're always building and pulling and keeping track of where you are with your profits, you can actually make money with this thing. It's interesting. And I think, I watched Vince do it with the 22 pressure and I thought it's a good idea, but man, 22 pressure is gonna take too damn long. It's just gonna take forever. I think Vince rolled 170 times the other day to make his $1,000. I think I rolled 35 times today, maybe 40. Not even that, probably not even that, to make $1,500. Again, starting at a high level, $5,000 in the bankroll, we never got past here, okay? In practices, I've gotten to here. I've gotten to where I'm down to my last 3,000 in yellows, sweating a little bit, but boy, it does, but you get that roll and it battles right back. So that's a fun one. I think it's a fun strategy. I'm glad that he put it out there and, you know, that was pretty fun. And Jay, you're making a great point here, I think, which is the cardinal sin is to not take advantage while the dice are spitting, right? When you're getting it, right? That's not the time to pull back. And especially because we were basically at profit. The smarter move there might have been to reduce down to 440, right? Pull it out so I got the 1,500 in or pull it back to 330. Lock up the 500 in profit and restart it again at 330. That would have been the smart play for sure, but hell, it's Friday Follies. We're having fun and it's good. Yeah, and you're right on point. For a low bankroll, that's required. And I'll run this out again at the small bankroll because I think you can do it with about $1,000. I think $1,000 bankroll at 66 is your starter amount, 22 pressure each time. You can totally do it. It is gonna take you a long time. You're not gonna experience variance at that low level, right? When you see, let me get back to this camera here. Let's go to this view. Why can't I find the view that I want? I want that one. When you're at the low level and you're more rolls, it takes you 150 rolls to get to where your goal is. You're experiencing less variance, right? The distribution will even out the closer you get to 1,000,000 rolls, right? So from 25 rolls to 100 rolls, you'll see closer to true probability. Where I experienced variance today, I experienced this incredible run of no 7s, but I can guarantee you in 40 minutes when I go back out there, I'm gonna have this crazy 7 situation. Over the 100 rolls, the distribution's perfect, right? So the longer it takes, the worse off you are. If you can take advantage, as Jay is saying here, of variance, when things are going on and you're in that zone, you take advantage of the zone that you're in, and when the minute that it turns sour, you got to bail because that's going to be the numbers, the math will take over for you. So I think it's a fun strategy. I think it's a fun way to spend a Friday. Yeah, for sure. Lower bankroll, to me, it's $1,000 to win 100, right? It feels to me like 10% is the goal here, right? You need 5,000 to win 500, 1,000 to win 100, $1,000 at the $66 starting point is I think about the same ratio. Is that 66 divided by 1,000 to 6%? If I did 330 divided by 5,000, I think we're close to the. Yeah, it's the same. 330 rather, 330 divided by 5,000. Yeah, it's the same. So you're at about 6 to 7% of your bankroll. So 330 as your starting point with a $5,000 bankroll is the same as 66 with a $1,000 bankroll as your starting point. And again, the ratio of what you're going up. And again, if you're doing it at the 22 inside or 66 inside, 22 pressure, the minute you get that up to 5,000, go to 330. Like what I'm learning. How do I say this right? You see it when I do it in the morning show, in the morning, the rollout, the YOLO thing. The more money you have, the more money you have to bet, right? And again, that's taking advantage of the position that you're in. If you have $50,000 and you're betting $66, it's what's the point? Then you're there to just burn time, right? When I'm at 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, I'm adding zeros to my bets along with my bankroll, because the more money you can put out there, the more money and faster you can make it like this. So that's interesting. As a matter of fact, if you had a $50,000 bankroll and you're doing 3,300 inside and you kept your goal reasonable, you could do it in a couple of hits. So there it is. Good call, Vince. Friday night fights. I don't know that we have a challenger tonight. Jeff, I hope Jeff's still here. Is Jeff still here? I'm going to search chats, by the way, just make sure I didn't miss anything. If Jeff is still here, I'm not sure if we even have a match scheduled tonight. If we do or don't, keep an eye on Discord today. I'll be in Discord all day. And if we can get it figured out, we'll get it scheduled. And I'm not sure if I'll deal. I think Jeff has to play because Jeff won last week. So I'll deal the last trial run. We just need a partner for Jeff to play. So there's that. I'm looking at the chats here. I'm just going to go through. There's a lot of chats that have my name on them. So let's see. Yeah, Jeff is asking about Friday Night Fights. We'll find out about that. Dr. Essing, I would do this with a consistent 4 and 10 for sure. And I said it earlier. If you want to play, like I would do the bank street outside while I'm doing the inside press with a very low level and go for those hard ways. I would have banked up today on the hard ways. That would have been crazy for sure. And a lot of horn numbers. You're right, Vince. A lot of horn numbers come out. I don't know why that seems to be. They come more than you think they do. And let me give you an example. Let me go to the table zoom, and I'm going to hide the little tiny one for a minute here. I want to show you something that I think we tend to forget about, because everybody goes, the horn is a sucker bet, and it is a sucker bet, unless, and here's the unless part of this. The 4 and 10, right? How many times can they roll? You have 3 ways to roll a 10. You've got 3 ways to roll a 4. And the entirety of the strategy that we talk about, the 410 bank street that I love, Wayland's 410 ladder, right? My 410 bank street looks like this, right? You've got your hard 4, hard 10, buy 4, buy 10. I'll put them up here in the corners. Why is that a great strategy? Because you have 6 ways to roll those versus 6 ways to roll a 7. You should be roughly 50-50. You should see enough wins in here paid at the 2-to-1 level to make money on this. Because the payments are so good, right? You can take 2 hits before the 7 and be out, right? That's the idea behind. It's a great look at the math of that. Now, the horn, check this out. There are 1 way to roll a 12, 2 ways to roll an 11. There's 2 ways to roll a 3, and there's 1 way to roll a 2. The horn is no different than the 4 and the 10 in terms of the likelihood of seeing those numbers. As often as I roll 4s and 10s, you should see me roll that many horn numbers. And we saw that today. You see that most days. We don't think about that, but there's 6 ways to get into the horn, and there's 6 ways to roll a 4 and 10. There's no difference. Against the 7, it's the exact same thing. Now, does hopping the horn make sense? No, because you're just donating money, right? On every roll, you're donating money, and eventually you'll get paid on one of these things, right? But it's chasing, unless you're laddering up after 3 or so. When you do, like I showed you before, I'll leave that out there. When you do the dollar midnight, and then it's for 3 times, and you kind of increase up. When this makes sense, the horn stuff makes sense to me. I can see bet in the field. I can see that because you have more targets in there and you can press it up. When you see a place, and like Jeremy did a video yesterday on the repeater bets, and these casinos that have repeater bets, when you can get a buck on the 2 and the 12, and a buck on the 11 and the 2 and the 3, and all you need to do is see those things hit twice during a roll to get paid 40 to 1. And those aren't hot bets. You can bet the 12 and the 2 repeater bet for a buck each, and they'll sit there until they get rolled twice. If you can get those to roll twice before a 7, which is potentially possible when you get all 4 of them, at 40 or 35 to 1, that's a good bet. That's where I would be all over the repeater bet on the horn numbers, on the 2, the 12, the 11, and the 3. That's all I would bet on the repeaters, because those do come as often as 7s do. And I think that's interesting way to look at it. So good for bringing that up. I think it's an important point to make. Horns are absolutely more prevalent than you probably think they are. So there's that. Let's look at the questions. What level does it make 110 profit? Why wouldn't I start there? Okay, that's actually, so let's I think skill your question. I'm going to put that up on screen. I'm going to go back to the strategy, and here's the way that I think this gets constructed. Okay, and this is what I did. I'm not sure how Vince concocted this thing, but here's how I looked at it when I went to the level that I'm at. Vince did this at, and I'll set this up for you, at 66 bucks. So he's got 15, 15, 15, 18 on the 6 and 8, right? That's the Vince level. And the reason why the 22 pressure works is because all of those pay 15 bucks on the 5 and 9. All those pay $21, right? You drop a buck from your rack, you're at 22 and you can press up. And then it's an easy single unit pressure on all the bets. I worked backwards and said, well, I want to play this. I want to get into the black level as fast as I can. So if I wanted to do, and I started with, what do I want to press? I said, I want to press by 110. I want to do a 110 pressure every single time. What do I need to start with to where I can basically do that with the first win? And I know that a $75 5 and 9 pay 105. Because they pay 105, that feels just like the 66 paying 21 and me dropping a buck. This feels the same thing as me just dropping a nickel on the first hit. And now we're pressing by 110. I worked backwards from how much do I want to press each time? And then I said, how much do I have to win to press that each time, starting with the first hit. So I worked backwards from that. Here's my goal, my goal press amount. How do I earn that? And I think that's what Vince probably did too. That's why the 22 from 66 works out. He could have started it at 88 and made the first hit a profit hit instead of a power press hit. I think it's just about reducing exposure. I could have started this honestly at 440, right? We could have easily done this. I could have started the whole thing instead of 330. If I would have started it at 440, which looks like this, let me get that out there, 120 and 120. My first hit at this level is 140. We pay that in greens. My first hit is at 140, like so. So I would have had profit on hit number 1 and pressing by 110. I just chose to go a little bit less on the initial exposure. But yeah, I work backwards from it. That's the way. I work backwards from that. So I think that covers most of the questions that I saw. Let's see. I'm going to run down here. Lost my window. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Clay's saying half press from there. I think if you half press, though, what happens when you half press, right? And again, if it's my actual money, if I'm dropping 5K on the table, maybe I'm half pressing, right? But the reason why I didn't half press here, let me go back to the other screen so you can see my lovely face. The reason why I didn't half press was because I wouldn't want to take time. Half pressing means I need double the amount of hits to get to where I wanted to get to. Full pressing like I did today increases the volatility of the whole thing, but I can get there in half the rolls. And that's the reason why, that's the only reason why I went with full press instead of half press. And I'm just following the pattern that Vince had set in his other thing. So there it is. Yeah, Chris, so this is what, I'm not sure you heard my point. I wouldn't do the horn on a hop, right? The regular horn bet. What I'd said was I would do the repeater bet. So in casinos that have repeater bets, you can put $1 out there on the 12 and the 2 and the 11 and the 3, and they will sit there the whole time. They'll pay 30 to 1 or 40 to 1 if the number hits twice, not hits once, right? It's like a place bet on the 12, but it's got to hit twice for it to get paid. That I like. I don't like hopping unless I'm Ed from roll to win and I can throw 12s whenever I feel like it. so there's that. All right. I think we're good. 9 o'clock. Good show, good Friday, good week, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I think we're good. I gotta go. I gotta get to work. I got a lot of things to do. Please jump into Discord today. Jump into the head-to-head channel in Discord. I think it's that Boxing Gloves is the icon for it. And let's try and get a match scheduled for tonight if we can. I'm happy to deal. I just need some combatants ready to go. I think Jeff wants to play somebody. So if you're into it and you want to do it, let's do it. I would love it if it was not one of us, right? Not a regular old YouTuber. One of y'all come in here and want to take on the master, Jeff. See y'all hopefully tonight, but I'll see you in the Discord for sure. Have a great Friday. Thanks again for being with me all week. Love y'all. God bless everybody, and I'll see you later. Bye.